Hey guys, my name's Aiden and these are the Koss Porta Pros. A very beloved budget headphone amongst the headphone enthusiast scene, and this is my review of them. I do want to mention before I start this review, I'll be reviewing these with the Yaxi pads considered. Generally the experience is the same with the stock pads anyway, but I'll have a dedicated segment to what the Yaxi pads actually do. Just note, spoiler alert, it's really bloody good.
Going for about $70 to $100 in the Australian market, the Koss Porta Pro is a widely loved headphone amongst the budget headphone hobbyists. The Porta Pros can easily be powered through any device, whether it be a phone, laptop or game console, thanks to a 60 ohm impedance with a sensitivity rating of 101 milliwatts per dB. They have a frequency range of 15 Hz to 25 kHz. They are light and collapsible, meaning it's ideal for portability, has an on-ear open back design, and on top of the drivers you'll see these sliders going from light to firm. This is here to assist comfort for many different head types. Personally, I don't ever need to slide it beyond firm.
In the hands, these headphones feel really cheap, the cable especially, but at this price point, what can you expect? I feel like the cables are just one fatal pull away from being snapped apart. I am not going to test that theory because I really like these headphones.
There are DIY mods for these which makes the cables detachable, but that requires taking it apart and soldering. I personally am not going to go through the efforts of doing that mod, but the option is there for those that are.
The headband pulling mechanism in my opinion is also really poor. Basically what it does is, what you do, you start it from the top, leave it on, and then you kind of just pull on it. And the thing is, the small gap here sometimes can pull on your hairs, and that's not a very pleasant experience. In my experience as well, every time I do take off these headphones and set it aside, the little headband does kind of slowly readjust to their default position, which again, that means then you have to go through the whole process and potentially more hair gets pulled out. It's not a nice feeling.
Some suggestions I've seen online puts tape on the headband to prevent it resetting. But I actually do take advantage of the collapsible feature, so I personally do not do the tape method.
Regarding comfort, these headphones in my opinion are probably the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. Once you get past the headband mechanism, they're extremely lightweight and they pretty much rest on my ears really easily. And because they're so lightweight, I feel like I could wear these for really much longer extended periods without it getting uncomfortable at any stage. And if you adjust it correctly and you don't tighten it too much, they don't dig into the top of my head. The Yaxi pads as well, just like small little cushions that go onto the side, and they just add to the experience. They're like small pillows on the side of your ears.
Going over sound, these headphones have a very dark, warm and bassy sound signature. In my opinion, these headphones aren't very bright, and in some instances I feel like they are recessed in the highs. But a positive that comes out of it not being bright is that they aren't sibilant, well to my ears at least. Vocals are pleasing, but they aren't as forward as something compared to the HD6XX, but that's a $300-400 Australian dollar headphone, so I don't believe that's a fair comparison. The main strengths in the Porta Pros, in my opinion, is the sound staging and the imaging. Soundstage is considerably wide, and that can be attributed to the open back design, and the imaging has a lot of depth behind it, which actually makes these really good for gaming. When you're in a controlled and quiet environment like your room, these headphones can sound very immersive because of the soundstage and imaging. However, if you're in a noisy environment, and because they are an open back, sound easily seeps in as well as it bleeds. If you are considering getting these headphones, I highly recommend getting the Yaxi pads for these. The stock pads are fine, but in my opinion, the additional padding from the Yaxi pads makes the Porta Pros a lot more comfortable. They also slightly separate the driver further away from your ear, and in theory this can result in a little more soundstage because the sound is more dispersed throughout the pad. But I didn't feel they made a massive impact in comparison to the stock, but the comfort alone is enough for me to recommend the Yaxis over the stock pads.
Overall, these are amazing value headphones, period. They are easy to drive, they're portable, and they are comfortable once you get past all the little faults that are here. They pair really well with the Nintendo Switch, and these are actually my go-to headphones with my Nintendo Switch. hence the color scheme that I've chosen with the Yaxi pads. And just overall, and additionally as well, if you like dark, warm, and bass sound signature, you will love these. Like at this price point, there's little to no competition. And these are like probably like a very strong recommendation from me. Honorable mentions go to the Koss KSE75 as well, and the Koss KPH30Is. For roughly the same or a little cheaper, apparently they can offer just as much, if not more, than what these can. But personally, I prefer the design of the Porta Pros over the other two. But from what I've heard from the internet, they sound just as good, if not better. I personally don't own a pair, so I can't give a verdict on that. And that's been my review of the Koss Porta Pros. Thank you for watching, and peace.